Onto the floor. Chunky pillow on the toes or the laces of the shoes. Toes is preferable. Laces will also work if toes is uncomfortable. Chunky pillow goes across the thighs. Fold on down into almost a child's pose on the elbows. Push the ground away through the elbows to round the mid-back. That stretch between the shoulder blades is your felt target. The pillow will block the belly. Take 5 to 10 breaths into the mid-back. Attempting to inflate it into the ceiling like a balloon. Long exhales. Eyes stay looking at your fingertips, palms to the ceiling. This will keep the neck long. Again, big filling inhales into the mid-back. Into the side ribs. Complete exhales. Find some front and side belly stuff. You don't have to force anything on these first breaths, but do attempt to coax more and more filling on the inhales, more and more emptiness on the exhales. Holding on to that grip in the belly gently, as if you're trying to spare the pillow from being pressed into by the belly on the inhale. Belly will expand, but we want to bias or send most of that inflation and inhale up underneath the back ribs between the shoulder blades. Again, continuing to push the ground away through the elbows. 5 to 10 breaths, pause the video if you need, move on to the next thing. Double arm doorway pec stretch. Differing angles of the elbows will create differing lines of stretch. In general, the more like a T we get or a little higher, the more challenging or slightly sensitive this can get for the shoulder, which is good and something that we want to head toward over time. If you find that it produces too much discomfort in the stretch or immediately after, a little tenderness is okay, but too much discomfort immediately after, we'll pull the elbows down and try that position. And that can create some more breathing room for the shoulder. Leaning the throat and the chest through the door frame, not letting the belt buckle or the belly button get too far ahead and creating crinkle in the low back. A little belly firmness helps here. Leading the chest and the throat through the door frame, we'll find a 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 10 on the stretch scale for this stuff. And take 5 to 10 breaths, again, pulling that air up underneath the collarbone into this chest wall, attempting to stretch this tissue from the inside out. That's the first and deepest layer that we'll get. Nice steady inhales through the nose. Nice long exhales through the lips to help find and recommit to a bit of belly firmness. Pause the video if you need to complete your 5 to 10. From here, after stretching the deepest layers, if there's still tolerance left in that shoulder area, we'll go ahead and explore the stretch a bit more. Some considerations again are the angle of the elbow. If you had a shirt logo or a laser pointer coming out of your sternum, turning that shirt logo away from the working arm will increase the stretch on this side, as will leaning a little further through the door frame. Play around and explore. 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever your tolerance may be. This is something that we can increase in both intensity and duration over time as your shoulder acclimates to this stretch. We can follow this up with a little bit of work through this stuff to kind of download or save the work to the brain, strengthening all of this chest tissue. The way we're going to do that is by finding a stretch, backing off about 5 to 10 degrees to a more comfortable zone, and then you're going to fight the door frame gently as if you were trying to bring your arms together, building to maybe a 40 or 50% of your maximum intensity, whatever you consider to be your safest and greatest effort, and holding that 40 or 50% effort for about 10 to 20 seconds.
Follow this up with 3 to 5 swimmer hovers, leading with the Follow this up with 3 to 5 swimmer hovers to teach the body how to use the space we've just created, leading with the shoulder blades, pulling them together, lifting through the elbows, and then finally the hands, attempting to get the hands above the elbows without dropping the elbows. Create a Y shape overhead, then rotate through the palms as we swing around, using the back stuff to stretch the front stuff. Finally, bending the elbows to place back and knuckles on top of butt, or as high up the back as we can get without too much dumping forward of the shoulders. We want to maintain that sensation of stretch through the front of chest stuff, even as we are bending through the elbows and lifting through the elbows. We can take a break here, take a breath in, tuck that tailbone, and then let's reverse. Shoulder blades together, find a stretch for the chest, elbows lift, then hands, straightening the arms, rotating through the shoulders as we swing the arms overhead like we're going to clap them. Bend the elbows to find back ahead, rest on down. 3 to 5. Follow up with gentle shoulder cars, seated or standing, double arm or single arm. To add extra grease to that shoulder. Here, gentleness and reaching for feel-good range is important, just to help the brain understand that everything's A-okay and that shoulder is safe.